Buddy, it's a pretty action-packed Monday. I mean, the markets are going crazy right now. So today I'm actually going to try two things. I'm going to do a tutorial on uh, putting on a trade in Tastyworks, and also I'm going to show you my morning day trades. I guess starting today, I'll try to do it every day. Usually there's an opportunity for me to do it. So without further ado, let me just put on what I have today. So this morning, there was quite a bit of a gap down, and as you see on S&P, it gapped down uh, a, quite a bit. And what happens is a lot of times during gaps, you'll see the market try to gap fill. So I'm just looking for an opportunity to see where a gap fill might happen. WFC got hit by the Fed, saying that they should slow down their businesses. So I was trying to go into Wells Fargo to see if I can get some gap fill up to maybe this line right here. And then I was just trying to look at other trades to see, where a good gap fill might be. Um, so I put on Wells Fargo, and it didn't immediately go my way. So you'll see in a second that actually, let me try to fast forward this a little bit. Okay. Sorry, bear with me trying to I sped up this thing, but I guess I didn't speed it up enough to the case where this could be fun for you guys. All right. So as you can see, once it passes, sorry, I couldn't zoom in a little more. So once it passed this line, I just kind of gave up on it, and took like a $246 loss. So I'm trying to just kind of look at other opportunities. I was looking at Baidu. I have other screens, and on other screens I was looking at Apple. I kind of missed Apple. I didn't really pull the trigger fast enough, so that one kind of like gap filled pretty quickly. Tesla's like not doing anything just now, and then I decided to get into Baidu because I think Baidu started to have some strength, and got into Baidu there. Again, just kind of looking around for other opportunities. I was looking at NVIDIA. But at this point, for my regular, so this is the account for TradeStation. So my TradeStation account is kind of small, and I already had used up most of my buying power, so I wouldn't be able to get anything anyway. But I do have a retirement account that luckily I had gotten out of my index trades because I was thinking that the market was too extended, and so therefore I had gotten rid of my index trades, and I'm just kind of like day trading it for a little while. So right now I'm just letting Baidu, do its thing. Not seeing a whole lot with NVIDIA. I mean, it kind of looked promising, but I didn't think it was like that strong, so I didn't immediately get into it. So kind of just still waiting around to see if there's any opportunities I could use for my retirement account. And Baidu still kind of doing its thing. And Netflix, I was looking at. Netflix has been a stock that was showing strength on Friday when the market was dipping, so I just thought maybe it might be a little bit strong. Over here, I'm just kind of putting my Fidelity. So this screen right here is just part of my Fidelity account. I just kind of moved it on top of the TradeStation to show like that I really don't have anything here on my Fidelity account except for one small position in a S&P index fund. So I did put on Wells Fargo. So you can see here, I actually got shaken out of my Wells Fargo initially and took that 250 or 200 something dollar loss, $46 loss in the TradeStation account. And then now that I see that it's coming back with momentum, I decided to go into the Wells Fargo in my retirement account. So Baidu is working for me. So here on Baidu, I had taken 100 shares off and I wish I had taken off more. It's kind of coming against me, so I was only taking off a little bit and erased a little bit of my prior losses in Wells Fargo. Over here in my retirement account, just kind of letting Wells Fargo work. I I didn't show my share sizing here. I actually have like 2,000 shares of this thing. So later on, I'm going to move my uh, shares here just so that you guys can see. But yeah, I didn't even think about this beforehand. This is my first day trying to record this thing for you guys. So bear with me. Tomorrow should be better. Um, so now Baidu's starting to work again for me. It had taken a little bit of dip. So I'm trying to get out somewhere around where the previous intraday high was. So I'm gonna get out some more shares. Like I had 400 to start with. I'm over here. I'll try to take off and I'll be down to 200 or so. So here I put on Netflix because Netflix had gained a bit of momentum, and it looks like it might break and try to go for the gap fill all the way up to this MA line. Oops, sorry for the messages. And so Netflix, you can see is starting to work for me, and so is Baidu. So Baidu, I already had taken off some shares. I'm down to only 100. So here I saw Baidu like spike up, and it didn't. I didn't see a further momentum, so I kind of got rid of it and just closing the day for 254 on the TradeStation account. For Netflix, I took some shares off, and as it's running up, I usually like to sell in the strength. So as it's running up, I'm selling shares into this rally. So once it rallies up to here, I want to be down to just 100 shares. I started with 1,000, and again, tomorrow will be better because I wasn't showing my share sizing. So Netflix, yep. Here's where I'm moving over the quantity. So I'm down to like just 100 shares on Netflix, but I still have my original 2,000 on Wells Fargo. So trying to just let Wells Fargo work a bit. And for Netflix, it's kind of still pushing up. So I'm letting it the 100 just ride and see what happens. Really, it doesn't do much for me at 100 shares, but just staying there, see what's going on. For Wells Fargo, it's working kind of decently well. So just watch my 2,000 shares. I probably will be reducing it down to 1,000 very soon. This screen is, this fast forwarding is moving a lot quicker than when I was watching it. So it kind of grew a little impatient. I was like thinking this thing is moving so slow. Compared to the rate of ascent on Netflix, this was just like watching paint dry. So my patience started to kind of wear down on this guy. This one, was moving kind of well. I really was thinking at best, it'll go to 270, and since I have 100 shares, I was thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna try to wait, see if it goes to 270. But so I'm just kind of watching Wells Fargo since that still has like a large amount of shares out there. Let me try to see if I can move this along since. Oh, actually, it's not moving that slow. Guess it's okay. All right. Trying to see when I'm starting to sell out. I think near this point I was starting to get a little impatient. I want to get my 1,000 shares off. And right around this line, I think this line is 59.60. So, well, this line is just drawn by TradeStation. It just looks at highs and lows, and it just draws a line where there was a previous low, and the previous low here on the pre-market is where this line is. So you can see I took out 1,000 because it hit that 59.60 mark. Now I'm just trying to see if it'll go up to $60. So this high bar line right here, Oh, sorry, I didn't tell you. I got rid of Netflix because the momentum seemed to have stopped on that one. And on Wells Fargo, I'm pretty much going to stop soon because, as I said, my patience for this thing is just drawing kind of short. So Wells Fargo is done, and I kind of just closed out the trade on closed out that trade. All right. So that was about 2,200 on the day for that one. Now let's get back to looking at the tutorial for Tastyworks. So on Tastyworks, now you can see I have a sea of red. So I have a lot of, positive delta. So as you can see, I'm kind of quite negative on my Tastyworks account at the moment. Hopefully near the end of the week we see the S&P start rallying back. But yeah, you never know. I might just stay red. Okay, well, anyway, let's get to looking at how to put on a trade. So let's say that we do feel that we think the SPY is going to rally back. So Tastyworks has two views. It has a curve view and it has a table view. The table view, I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with if you have been on other applications such as Thinkorswim or really any other brokerage like E-Trade or Fidelity. They all will have a table matrix like this, and all that is saying, hey, you know what, if I want to long. So the interesting thing about Tastyworks is it gives you a menu of all the different strategies that you can pick. So let's say I want to long a call option. So if I want to long a call option, I just say long go call option, right? So it gives me the table, and here I can move my buy point to whichever price I want, and you can see I can do that here as well. I can move my I'm sorry, here. So I can move this. You can see where my orders are. It says buy, and it says one. And I can move my quantity by either typing in here, or move my quantity by clicking on the arrow keys here. You can also move the strikes using the arrows here, or as I said, you can just drag where you want to put your strike. You can also increase expiration. So you can change expiration here. Oh, sorry, you can change the expiration by clicking on a different expiration in the table. So say I want the March expiration instead, I can go to March, or you can just change the expiration by moving the time here. Okay, and here you can just clear the whole thing, and then here you will see that this is the mid price. But you can change the mid price to, change your limit price to whatever price you want. So you can be below the mid price or above the mid price. So whatever you would like. And so let's say that you wanted a mid price that was right here at 5.72, and you're ready to go. Before we hit review and send, I was wrong. Actually, there is a stop market order and stop limit order. I had thought that there was no stop orders, but there is stop orders. You can also have GTC orders. So let's just say that we are ready and we want to review and send. So here you'll see how much your stock buying power is and how much your option buying power is, and you're reviewing that there's a day order, how much this is going to cost you. Now, this number is how much as you said, the maximum loss, right? So that's going to be your debit. The additional $3.14 on top of that is actually your commission. So that's going to be your effect on your buying power. So that's the estimated BP effect. And so you can see the commissions for, let me see how many contracts did I say? One contract is, that's surprising. Oh, so it's an extra, it's an extra $1.14. So yes, $1 per contract, and 14 cents is the clearing cost. Okay, so that makes sense. we're going to go back, so I'm not going to send this order. And we're going to look at, instead of the table view that you guys are very familiar with, we're going to look at the curve view. So the curve view is a pretty nice graphical representation of, where the current price is and where you want your strike to be. And it tells you where where you'll be positive P&L. So you'll be positive P&L past this point. You're going to have a negative P&L below this point if it expires at that point, right? So to look at the table view, I didn't get to talk about that in table view, but on a table view, this green area is the same thing. It's saying after this price, you're going to be, or in this case, anything higher than 282.5, you're going to be positive in P&L. And anything in red here, so anything below this 281.5, you're going to have a negative P&L. So I kind of like the curve view because it just kind of gives you a really nice, easier visual on your eyes to see where your positives and negatives are. Now, one thing that I have found negative, and maybe somebody might be able to point me wrong, is that there's no profit and loss curve. So what I mean is that at every price range, you would see like how much you would make. So if it had matured at 290, how much would you make? At 300, how much would you make? So that's something kind of nice that you see on other platforms, the profit and loss table that they don't seem to have here. Let me just do one more thing, and let's just say that we want to do a vertical. Let's say I want to sell, I put verticals. I can show you how that looks. So you can see if I'm selling a put, it'll show me what my max loss is, what my max profit is. You can see that the two contracts are here, selling one and buying one at the two different prices. And then when you review and send, you'll see that your estimated cost is 142, which is not a cost, but more of a credit. You get 142 credit, but you're going to be reduced down by the your BP is going to be reduced down by the max loss, right? And then adding in $2 of commission and 30 cents of clearing costs. Okay, so I hope that tutorial for Tastyworks is helpful for you guys. Let me know if you guys have any other questions, and I will post another video. All right, thanks, and enjoy your day. Good luck out in the market. It's pretty crazy.